Chronic stress. To make a long story short, when I was young, I distinctly remember being under a lot of stress. Uh, Normal stress, chronic stress, stress of being young, and eventually my immune system just wasn't working well. So I became sick and caught infections, and one was almost fatal. Let me tell you what I learned from this. When I got older and I went to school to be a therapist, they started talking about the body-mind connection. And in the body-mind connection, they distinctly explained what happens under high stress. If you're an animal, our systems are made basically the same. If you have something dangerous in front of you, like say a lion, and your system is built just like any animals to shut down your gut, send a signal to the top of your kidneys, release adrenaline, ephedrine, and other chemicals into your system to make you power pack for fight or flight. And that's only made for acute moments, just for short periods of time. So you get away, everything's cool, and then you calm down, and you start relaxing. Other chemicals get released. But what happens? We run and we run and we run in our society today, and we stay high stress, and the cortisol starts going through our system, and this is not good for our heart. It's not good for our system. So our immune system no longer is working at its best, and as we start coming up with these chronic diseases and everything. Trust me on this. It's even happening to our bees. I mean, you think about how much honey we use. Well, the honey is how they nourish themselves. You know what we do? We take their honey and replace it with syrup, sugary short syrup to fool them. Then we take the queen and we kill her off, and we impregnate the bees, and we just use so much artificial stuff. The bees started declining because the immune systems were going down. So we stress the bees out. They're not pollinating. We're stressing ourselves out. We're not eating right. Recipe for disaster. So you got to get your head back in gear. You got to start finding ways to relax. For me, I got a spot that I go to that's an old-fashioned water wheel. It's in Wayland, Massachusetts. And since I got here in '83, I always go there and clear my head out. This is natural. And the waterfalls and everything keeps me at a certain level. I also have a crystal bowl that I gong because the sound levels me off naturally. And then I exercise and do other things because I got to keep my stress level to a certain point. It's very difficult because how much money do we need? I got a house. Do I really need a house? Well, I never had a house before, and I survived, so I got to realize that I'm going to have concern, but I can't let it get out of control because then, I'm not going to die if I don't have a house. But I can only say that because I've experienced having a room. I've experienced struggle. But I know I'm going to get flack for this, but being a black man, post-traumatic slavery disorder, post is after. You don't think that you hand down it's all of this stress. Racism causes all kinds of stress. Not getting paid enough money. Shit, if most of us made $50 to $100 an hour, which I can get right now, doing the work I do now, there's going to be less stress in your life. You're sitting here fighting to get $10 an hour. It's nonsense. Donald Trump's sitting up there running his mouth because look at all the money he's got. Take him and put him on a budget like anybody that's struggling, and you'll see him fold like anybody else. He's a human being. But don't be concerned about all that. What you want to do is keep your head in the right place, realize that you have this system, and use methods that's going to keep you to a certain point calm, and say, am I eating to live, or do I live to eat? Jada Pinkett, she doesn't eat for pleasure. And that's not an easy thing to do, but I have to switch my eating habits around because I have to ask myself a question. Am I putting enough food in my body for me to survive, or am I just being gluttonous? Because how much do I need? How much do I think I need? There was a time in my life I quit smoking cigarettes when I was 22 years old. There was a time in my life when my mind told me I would die if I didn't have a cigarette. Now, intellectually, that's not true, but ask anybody who smokes cigarettes. 45 minutes later, nicotine's going to wear off, and you're going to know it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put this into perspective for yourself, and none of this is easy. But I'm going to end with this. You're worth it. One.